Hey you guys, what's up? It's another episode of The Daily Creative. You guys know the show. This is the one where I sit down and answer your questions. I love this show. I'm going to give you the number to call at the end, but I'm going to give it to you right now too. 802-962-4357. If you're a creator, an aspiring, or a pro, I'm answering your questions. I have a lifetime of knowledge behind me, and I feel like I can add some value. And you don't actually have to have your question answered to get value. There's, I don't know, we've answered 50 or 100 questions, and I'm hearing that it's working, so I'm going to keep doing it. Without that, let's get to the show here. There's a question. Whose question's coming in from? Natasha. Let's hear it. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Hey, Chase. My name is Natasha. My photography company is Najo Photography, and I'm on Instagram at Najo_photography _designs.
Got it.
My question is, I have been published a grand total of 11 times.
Nice.
Through independent magazines and also a couple of regular magazines, but not like Cosmo or something like that, or Vogue or whatever that is.
National big titles, I get it.
And I'm just wondering, what's the next step for that? How do I get magazines like Vogue and Cosmo and Marie Claire to pay attention to my work?
Love it. Love it.
Because I've been published through everything, and I don't pay to be published. They actually seem to like my work and accept my work.
Got it.
If you can answer that for me, that would be great.
Got it. Okay, Natasha, and this is not just a question that Natasha needs answering. This is all like, how do we get our work in other places and get hired in those places? And the answer is the same. I'm going to give you, Natasha, a couple specific things that I want you to do, and you all are going to be able to extrapolate how this applies to your world, regardless if you're trying to get your photographs in magazines or trying to do something different. So specifically, and this is the part that's the same for everybody, is you need to deconstruct how these magazines hire people, who does the hiring, aka who makes the choices and writes the checks, and find a way to get your work in front of those people. Now it's very critical to understand that you need to understand that they have a certain bar, a certain threshold. Remember, the first thing that we all need to focus on is craft, because we need to get good at something and good enough so that we can honestly make sure that the work that we're doing is on par with the work that you're seeing out there. In this case, she's talking about Cosmo or Marie Claire or whatever. But the same is true for you and whoever you are out there listening with other industries. But for you, Natasha, deconstruct who the photo editors are, who the photo buyers are, who are the photographers that are getting hired, what are they doing, how can you get in front of the people who hire photographers at those publications. The total pool of magazines that you mentioned, and ones that I think are on the magazine shelf and analogous or similar, it's hundreds, it's not tens of thousands. And if you want your work there, which is a great way to A, be seen, and B, to be able to use that and leverage that into getting bigger commercial clients or whatever, this is the strategy. You want to have the people who are doing that work, the photo editors, and you can see it. It's in the masthead of the magazine. It's online. You can actually buy access to mailing lists and whatnot to find out who these people are. And then there are a number of things you should do. You should make sure that the work that you are shooting looks like the work that they're hiring, but has a unique angle. What are you doing that's different, not just better? If you can be better, that's great, but what's different or unique? And make sure that they know who you are. There's all kinds of ways to do that. I've talked about email, I've talked about social sort of stalking and getting your work out there. Follow them, like their posts, like their comments on all of the social channels, because I promise you, these are human beings that are making human level decisions. You need to find a way to get on their radar. Go to trade shows. These people often go to trade shows. Find out what they're into and get into the same thing. It doesn't matter if you're trying to get hired by a giraffe trainer, a magazine editor, or an entrepreneur, or Elon Musk at SpaceX. You need to be on their radar. And you do it by being around them, following them on social, making sure they're familiar with your work, such that when it comes time to hire another photographer or to buy a shoot or buy a license an image, that they have your work in mind when they do that. There's only one way: repetition. make sure they know who you are, be in as many places as that person is looking. Simple as that. All right, so that answers your question, I hope, Natasha. And again, don't just think of your world, if you're not a photographer trying to get into Marie Claire or Cosmo, there is everything that you need to know in tracking down your customers in that question, so pay attention. Thank you. Let's go on to question number 2 for this episode. I think it's from Misha, is that right? Misha, all right, let's hear from you.
I wanted to know how has working with software developers to build digital products, such as a website or mobile app, been different from hiring and working with other kinds of creatives, for your experience, obviously, especially with your experience building CreativeLive.
Got it.
Thank you.
Love it. So this is a question that we all need websites. We all need digital presence. We all need coders, software, product people. They're all part of our lives now. And it's because we're in a digital economy. So I'm going to remove from the discussion the digital aspects about your personal brand with respect to social media. I'm going to focus on people who are building products, like Misha just said, and websites and whatnot. To me, it's like working with anybody. First of all, you have to understand what the context of the project is. How well can you define the thing that you're looking to have build? That is, if you know what you want built and you're looking for someone to build it, the tighter picture you can come with on what it is that you're asking from them, the more comfort that that person has. Like if you show up to a builder and you're like, you're talking about a house, and he's like, yeah, I kind of want to build a house. It's like, I don't know, I think it's gonna be blue. And they're like, how many bedrooms? How tall is it? How many square feet? Where is it located? Is it, on a hill or is it flat? They have a billion questions. So the more that you can be clear on what it is that you want to do, the easier it is for you to have a working relationship for someone to work on. If you're looking to hire someone to build a thing for you, which you might not be, but that's the first sort of way I'm looking at the question. Clarity provides actionable steps for that person, because that person's scared shitless of getting sucked into your sort of cyclical wondering what it is that you're building. So the tighter that you can be in defining that would be the best way of recruiting. They have things called RFPs, like a request for proposal, and that's where you're posting your project and soliciting people who might want to build something for you. You could do those on all kinds of sites, and Reddit, and there are developer communities and forums and whatnot where you can go to find people to help you build stuff. There are local meetups in your city. I don't care how big your city is. There are engineers and product people working there. Now, I'm going to assume that is a complete answer on how to just be very well organized, and then when you sit down with them, you probably would vet a couple of them, find out who you best get along with, who you feel like has the chops to do the project in a way that you'd like, narrow it from all of the people who respond to 3 to 5 people to 2 people to then the final person, and you give them the job, and then you work closely with them based on that experience. And that's just like hiring anybody, except in this case, you're working with someone who's going to build a product for you. I'm wondering, Misha, if you were saying like, do you have to because stereotypically developers are this kind of personality, and I don't believe in that. I think that you're going to get a range of personality types. So I don't feel like that's germane to the question. And in those cases, it's just general emotional intelligence. You have to have emotional intelligence enough to work with the person who is sitting across the table from you, regardless of their personality type. So when you're narrowing the thing down to the thing you actually want to hire, the person you actually want to hire, then you're looking for personality matches and can you work with this person? Because if you do anything that's quality, you're going to have to be into it hard enough, long enough, and you're going to get into the details such that you better have a good working relationship with the human. All right, so there's one other thing that I wanted to add, and that is if you're talking about finding collaborators where you don't know what you want to build and you're looking for people to brew up this next cool idea, I think more than anything, you need to be a part of the community. That's where you develop friendships and business relationships and potential collaborations only by actually connecting with humans. It can be digital because you can build a website across the internet just from collaboration. But I'm a huge believer in, this is the video that how many times have I referenced that 50%? These things, like a million, right? Watch a video that I put out called The Other 50%, and that is, how do you participate in your community? In this case, how do you participate in the software developer, product development community? There are meetups in your communities. There There are people who are at CreativeLive learning those like design and UX skills. There are forums on the internet where you can learn and meet these people, and there are trade shows that you can go hang out with. Like, how can you physically put yourself in that space? You need to be a part of that community, and if you're dying to find co-conspirators, that you don't have that perfect idea that you can put on paper so someone can build it, you need to go find someone that wants to work on the same thing you want to work on. And that's only by being a part of a community, okay? Keep this episode tight. How about that one? I want to say thanks. Again, it's my belief that if you share this, good things happen to you. This is not just a simple call for likes and clicks. I believe when I find something of value and I share it, people thank me. And so this might be an opportunity, if you find these shows valuable, to share it. Super appreciate you coming here. I love your questions. We have a couple hundred queued up. I'm burning through as many as I can every week. I hope you're tuned in. But thank you so much for watching and sharing. Without you, this community would be boring as hell. So you and I are in this together, hoping that we can learn from one another, and that's what this show is about. If you want your question answered, it's pretty simple. 802-962-4357. Bye.